I feel so sorry for him. Not really. Dividing it in proportion to their abilities. And then he left on his trip. You know, that rich guy had a lot of faith in these servants. To take that much money and divide it among them and then leave on his trip. He had no cell phone, he had no computer, he had no way of connecting with them to make sure that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing with his money. He left. And left them responsible for what he had given them. The servant who received the 5 bags of silver, or the 5 talents, began to invest the money and earned 5 more. Good job, guy. The servant with 2 bags of silver also went to work and earned 2 more. But the servant who received 1 bag of silver dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. Go out in your backyard, dig a big hole, and put $300,000 in it, and then cover it up. After a long time, their master returned from his trip and called them to give an account of how they had used his money. The servant to whom he had entrusted 5 bags of silver, or 5 talents, came forward with 5 more and said, Master, you gave me 5 bags of silver to invest, and I have earned 5 more. The master was full of praise. Well, I would be too. 5 bags of silver, 5 talents is not a little bit of money. Anybody really good with math? How much does he have now? Yeah, $3 million at the end. Wow. You have been faithful in handling a small amount. I don't know. That seems like a lot to me, but okay. So now I will give you more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together. The servant who had received 2 bags of silver came forward and said, Master, you gave me 2 bags of silver to invest. I have earned 2 more. The master said, well done, my good and faithful servant. He's not picking at him because he had less money to start with and he has less money now. He's saying you did a good job with what you were given. You have been faithful in handling this small amount, so now I will give you many more responsibilities. I still don't think I see small amounts of money here, but that's okay. Let's celebrate together. Here's the poor guy who got 1 talent. And what did he do with it? He buried it. He gets to come in and talk about what he did with his money. Then the servant with the 1 bag of silver came and said, Master, I knew you were a harsh man, harvesting crops you didn't plant and gathering crops you didn't cultivate. I was afraid I would lose your money, so I hid it in the earth. Look, here is your money back. And I imagine, as I'm imagining this picture, I'm imagining the guy holding this grubby bag that's dirty and pieces of wet junk, dirt falling off of it, flop, plop, plop on the floor, as he's standing there trying to talk to the master. But the master replied, you wicked and lazy servant. If you knew I harvested crops I didn't plant and gathered crops I didn't cultivate, why didn't you deposit my money in the bank? At least then I could have gotten the interest on it. $300,000 if you had just even 2% or even 1% interest. It would have been a little bit of money, right? That's a chunk of change. Then he ordered, take the money from this servant and give it to the one with the 10 bags of silver. For those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. a cautionary tale. God has given every single one of us tools to use. I don't know what your tools are. Are you good at reading, kids? Do you know kids who need help reading? Can you be a tutor? Are any of you good cooks?